We have a great show today, whether you listen on a podcast, whether you're watching live on Facebook, whether you're doing a rewatch on Facebook, or whether you're watching on YouTube. We're going to have a good time here. I have a great guest. We'll get into this. But let's get this intro out the way real quick one time. Let's go. Thank you for tuning into the Matt Ramage Show, presented by Quick Trip. All right, everybody. So the guest is in the building, but real quick, before I bring him in, a big shout out to Quick Trip sponsoring the show. Make sure that you have your Quick Rewards card. You know, if you don't got one, get one. If you're going to Quick Trip anyways, you got a lot of bonuses that you can get. You're buying the stuff anyways. I get free rock stars all the time. You get free sandwiches. You get all the free stuff. So go and get your Quick Rewards and get the app. And you can, like, people are winning cars. People are winning trucks. People are doing lots of things. But let's bring... I can't have Peter out here waiting any longer. What is up? Hang on. I even got a little thing for you, Peter. Hey. Look at this. Locked On Packers podcast host Peter Bukowski joins the show.
Let's go.
Up, man? How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. Long time no talk, Matt.
Yeah, we just talked the other day. And I have to say, I don't think I've ever done someone's show where I got so many messages and like people saying like and there was a few that like I don't know who you are, but like I heard you on Locked On Packers and whatever. I'm gonna check you out. But like a lot of people that do follow me like messaged me and like, hey, you were great. I was a little buzzed up that night, so I don't remember everything. I probably should go back and listen to see what I said. But people liked it. You made me look good.
I had to cut like 3 minutes from it.
Yeah.
But it was to protect me, not you. I had to protect myself.
Sometimes I need protection, you know what I mean? But
which you can find at Quick Trip.
Yes, you can. I assume I don't look I'm not into whatever for that. But anyways. So how are you doing? Like you know, game is coming up, the week is flying by, and I'm gonna get to it, but first I want to ask, how are you doing? Are you having a good day?
I'm having a good day. You know, I spent a lot of time today. My wife had a really busy day, so we tag team on the childcare, and so I had a lot of time to spend with my son, who's 21 months. It's hard to keep track of all the months, but he's a little over 1.5, and it's great to have a lot of time to spend with him. So, but it's exhausting as the parents out there know. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of brain focus. Even when you're not like running around, you have to be so locked in that by the end of the day, you're just like, can I get a beer around here? Like, come on.
Exactly. My youngest kid is 19, so I don't have to worry about him like getting his head.
Those days are behind you.
Yeah. I don't have to worry about all the things that you have to worry about. Like just like I remember like when my kids were young, every now and again, a head gets stuck in between something. You have to like try.
Yeah. But, luckily, the spires of our staircase are very close together, so it'd be really hard to like get your head or your foot or something stuck in there.
I think every sitcom ever since the beginning of time has had that episode when the kid got his head stuck in the stairwell. As a kid, we didn't.
When we were looking for houses, we saw a house that had one of those, like, you know, when you go in a house and they have the like catwalk when you first walk in, like you walk up the stairs and they have the open. Yeah. So they must have had little kids, because they had put plexiglass up.
All right. They're like,
so it's clear, but so like no one can like jump over. They probably had teenagers or like 12-year-olds who were going to be dumbasses and try and jump off onto the couch from the catwalk. Like I would have if I had a house like that when I was that age. But
yeah, it's something. All right. So I want to talk to, like, a lot of Packer questions are coming at me today. And it's funny because people ask me stuff like I know stuff, and I really don't. I get myself off Twitter from like people like you and like the beat writers and everyone who's tweeting it. But Kingsley Keke was released. Do we know anything of the reasons why? Because like I haven't really been paying attention, and everyone I heard, it sounds like there's not a lot of talk going on. But do we know anything about like why that happened?
No. I mean, that's the short answer. No. I sent out a few texts after I saw the news just to see, you know, if people who might know things would know things, and no one really had any good answers for me. You Kenny Clark said he'd had a long conversation with Kingsley Keke a couple weeks ago. Would not divulge that. That was a public conversation. That was him talking to reporters. But it's been weird for a while, Matt. Like if you go back to that week 16 game where he's a healthy scratch in a game where they need defensive linemen, it was against the Cleveland Browns. They needed a player like Kingsley Keke to be out there to help slow down Nick Chubb in that running attack. And for him to be a healthy scratch, that was the first time I stood up in my chair like, what's going on here? Like this is weird. And then, okay, he has COVID. And so then you're like, okay, maybe he was sick and it was a late COVID scratch and he was like, maybe he wasn't feeling well. And then they tested him but then the next couple of weeks, he's on the DNP list, the did not practice list with an illness. And Matt LaFleur said he didn't play in that Browns game because of a personal matter, but then he's not practicing. And he's apparently sick. That is the word that we're getting. And it just made me go, this is weird. Like, and what I hope is that he's okay. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like Calvin Ridley is a superstar receiver for the Atlanta Falcons. He walked away from the game and just said, I can't, I need to deal with some stuff. And, Jay Sternberger came on my show. He wrote a piece that I thought was really great for The Leap, a newsletter I would love for you to subscribe to, about his own mental health struggles and the issues that he was dealing with. And I think we forget sometimes that these football players are people and that they go through stuff. He's had a lot of head trauma. He's had a lot of injuries. I think he had a car wreck over the offseason. And so, it may just be that he's going through something. And so that's why I'm saying, like, I don't want to speculate on the nature of it. And I hate when people are like, well, it's the concussions. Like, dude, you don't know. Like, I don't want us to speculate about root causes for anything. We don't know.
Yeah.
My hope though is that he's okay, that he's doing okay, that this was just I don't know, or that he's going to be okay. That's what I hope.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we've seen these things go sideways where all of a sudden someone's career is over, or God forbid something really bad happens. You just hope that he's okay and that he's able to get his career. He's 25 years old now. It's just, it sucks to see this.
Yeah. He was on my podcast. Actually, like after he got drafted, I hit him up and I was like, hey, he was on my podcast. And back then I didn't, not that I'm great now, but I had no idea what I was doing. And it was like one of my podcasts I looked at and I was like, I didn't want to post it. Like that was horrible. Not because of him. He was great. But like just me, I was stuttering. I was like, wasn't as prepared. Like he was a rookie. I didn't know a lot about him. And I was DMing guys like, hey, you want to come on my podcast? And then some said yes. And I was like, oh crap.
Now we have to do a podcast.
Yeah. I'm a little bit better now. But anyways, like I was thinking the same thing. I don't want to speculate why this happened. It doesn't seem like, obviously, like it's like his ability, because like the rotation thing, I think it's good going to the playoffs. So like hopefully whatever it is, like I don't like to speculate on these things, and I'm not going to. Hopefully he's good and like he gets good, whatever it is. But yeah, he's not gonna be there for this playoff run. But the last live I did the other night, I had a nice little group on. I had some complaints. We don't talk about defense enough, which I thought I did, but maybe we didn't. So I want to kick off talking about the football stuff with some defense. All right, which I think I did last time. Maybe they weren't listening. I don't know. But what do the Packers defense have to? Because I think that's a big part of it. Because we all know the Packers offense is going to do their thing. Like that's just going to happen. What is the Packers defense? Because that's what everyone's talking about with this 49ers offense, their running game, and like the Packers defense is kind of like everyone's saying is like their weakness. Even though special teams, I think, is actually their weakness. But what do the defense have to do to like really put the offense in good situations and not have to score 50 points this game?
Well, first of all, I got to shout out our guy Big B from Underage Packers, who I know is tuning in, and he said what's up. So that's one of my guys. So we got to shout him out.
Yeah, we did.
I went on that show last year, and those guys, man, I wish
Dude,
they
are so good.
I wish I had like the like dedication to do a podcast when I was like 14, 15 years old. I was I was like trying to
Yeah.
I don't know what I was trying to do, but it was not like do something cool like that. So anyway,
Dude, hang on. Before you get in, I want to say, like, I did their podcast, right? They're like, hey, you want to come on my podcast? And I didn't really know at first, like, who they were exactly, you know? And after I was doing it, I was like, well, they are so good. Like, I was busy that day. Like, I was, my wife had me shopping. I came home late. So I really didn't, not that I wasn't prepared anyways, because I really don't prepare for this stuff. I just kind of go and just
right.
talk with stuff. But like, I was like, after I was like, well, these kids are like 15 and they're so much better than me. I just start watching them so I can learn some stuff. Yeah. But the Underage Packers podcast, anyone who's watching, anyone who's listening, definitely check them out. They're they're Underage Packers podcast. They could be the underrated Packers podcast because
Totally agree.
those kids.
They're gonna have
Anyways,
to change. They're gonna have to change their name soon. But you
yeah.
asked about the defense. Defensively, it really helps to get Zadarius Smith back, to get Jair Alexander back, and I think the Jair piece is really important because if you feel like you can handle this receiver group with your corners, and when you have Rasul Douglas and Eric Stokes and Jair Alexander, I think you have to feel pretty good that you can do that, right? So maybe we see a little bit less two high safety. We see a little bit more single high safety and say, we dare you to run the ball, or we dare you to throw the ball. We don't think you can throw the ball down the field on us. So we dare you to try, and we're going to commit to stopping the run. I think you're gonna see some of that. You're gonna see Joe Barry did this really cool thing the last time they played. They played like a 4-3. It was 2 interior defensive linemen, 2 edge guys, 3 linebackers, but all of them were off-ball guys. So it was Chris Barnes, Devondre Campbell, and Oren Burks. Oren Burks played a ton in this game because of his speed, sideline to sideline, those edge runs. And I thought that was a really cool thing. And that was when I was like, oh, wait, Joe Barry has a bag. I didn't know Joe Barry had a bag, but Joe Barry has a bag. He went in it in a big game against an opponent that has had some success against Green Bay. I thought that was so great to see. And it made me excited to see in a matchup like this, okay, now what is he going to do? And he said, I'm going to go back and watch the 2019 NFC Championship game. I'm going to go back and watch week 3. But I don't think they have that much bearing on what we're going to do in this game because Kyle Shanahan is so good at keeping you off balance, at giving you new stuff, or at taking something he knows you see on film and having a counter for it. So you need to be ready for the counter. And that, Matt, is where having Matt LaFleur is crucial, because Joe Barry gets to watch the tape with Matt LaFleur and say, all right, Matt, what would your counter be? They started preparing early for this.
Yeah.
They did not have faith in Dallas, just like the betting public did not have faith in Dallas. They started preparing early for San Francisco, believing they would beat the Cowboys. And so you get to go to Matt LaFleur, who knows Kyle Shanahan, who they run a similar offense, and say, okay, from this, what's the counter? What's the move off the move? And we need to be prepared for that. And they were in week 3, by the way. There was a couple times Kyle Shanahan ran the counter plays that you think he's going to run. They're like, okay, we run this. We're going to show you this other thing off that. And that was when Jair Alexander got the pick. I said, we don't think you can run this cover 3 and do the cut the corner and replace backside. Jair Alexander did it and got the interception. So I think that's a really crucial thing for them. And I think this defense, you go back to the last 2 divisional rounds, Matt, 2 playoff games in the divisional round, both against NFC West opponents, against the Seahawks and the Rams, 13 total first half points allowed.
Yeah.
I think this defense is going to come out flying around, fired up, and injured Jimmy is going to have some issues.
Yeah, and I don't think that they pay attention to social media, especially the people who are talking to me. But like, so many people are coming at me like fans, not just Niner fans, because Niner fans have really a little bit like, but I get why they did.
They go hard on YouTube.
Yeah. But like, it's not just Niner, but just everyone, Viking fans, Bears, the same people. Cowboys fans, I ticked them off. I posted an old meme I had about, where they at, though. Whatever. I don't know if you saw, you probably did. But I was just roasting Cowboy fans. But so a lot of people come at me about like, you can't stop the run. They're gonna do this, they're gonna do that. Like I don't know if the team hears it because I know that they're not like paying close attention, but like I think they got to be hearing a little bit and just I don't know. I don't think that. Let me say I don't think that they'd put too much into it. Like they're not like oh these, but like they got to have like a like dude we're gonna shut this thing down. Like they have to be and like Aaron Rodgers is talking about like we're gonna go on a run. Like I just feel like it's like silent, like so much confidence. Like they always every team has confidence. No one's like oh shucks we're in the playoffs, but I hope we can win. But you know what I mean?
I mean, the Steelers kind of did that.
Yeah, they kind of did.
Ben was like, "Well, we're not going to win anyway, so we might as well go have fun." Like he said that.
I know, I saw that, and I wasn't sure if he was being honest or if he was being like sarcastic. Like you guys are all saying this.
Both, I think both.
But yeah, but like obviously, I think he had, I don't know if he had confidence because I don't know. Even in that situation, it's like me like getting in a fight with a really big dude and like oh, I'm gonna take him. Like in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, that's not gonna end well, which I don't do. I don't fight. I'm not a good fighter or a good runner, but I'll take my chances on running every time. No, but like I feel like this team has something. I don't know if it's swagger, if it's like it's something. I think that they want to shut up a lot of people. All the NFC Championship losses. Everyone.
I think it's purpose, Matt. Like we talked about this on my show when you came on. Like we were saying, oh, in 2019, they kind of knew that they weren't good enough, and then last year they felt like they had earned it when they got the number 1 seed. They got the bye. They got the home playoff game. They were probably a little too confident that they were going to beat the Bucs. And now, Ryan Wood wrote this great column a couple weeks ago when they got the number 1 seed, and it was like, this team knows that's not enough. And I think that's the thing is they know they're really good, but they know they have to stay focused. And I think that purpose imbues them with a confidence of like, okay, we have a singular goal here. It's the Super Bowl. We got home field advantage. That's nice, but we got to win these football games. And I think Aaron Rodgers has them focused. I think Matt LaFleur has them focused. I think Davante Adams has them focused. And Matt, I'm sure you saw the hype video.
Yeah.
There was a lot of like Last Dance allusions in that. Like, I think everyone sort of knows that this is their opportunity, even if it's a little tongue in cheek that they like got Rodgers to voice the spot where, you know what I mean? Yeah. But it's one of those things where I think they understand what's at stake, that this could be their last chance to do it and their best chance to do it. I mean, it's not, they should know better than anyone. Nothing is guaranteed, right? Packer fans know that. They felt like they've had the best team a couple different times and it has not worked out. 11, 14, 20. And, that is why I think a lot of Packer fans have their heart sort of right here, right? It's guarded because they don't want to get hurt again. And I totally get that. But it's a purpose. It is a focus that I think will serve them really well in these games.
Yeah, and then that's what I'd like. I had a little clip from like one of my lives where I said, I was like, Packer fans are afraid to be confident. Like, cause I'm confident all the time. I'm cocky, I make videos like they're gonna beat the hell out of them, But like I think some Packer fans are afraid because like you said, they're so guarded. Like if I say this, they could lose. But I was like, dude, we don't matter. Like I definitely not me. Like I say like I think it's funny because people are like, well, if the Packers lose, I'm gonna record it. I'm gonna put this back and this. I'm like, dude, I predict the Packers to win every single week. I'm right more than I'm wrong not because of me, not because I'm so gosh darn great, but the Packers win
because they win a lot.
Yeah, they win a lot. But yeah, but I absolutely think you're right. I think these guys know, like Davante Adams, who knows what happens with him next year. And like a lot of these guys, if they do move on, like I'm not going to get into all that until after the Super Bowl, but like
after they win
guys
the Super
that
Bowl.
do, like this is their time to go get that ring. You never know like what's going to happen. Like Dan Marino went to a Super Bowl early on in his career, never win again. Like he thought he had the same mentality as Tom Brady. My favorite ring is the next one. All these things. Dan Marino never got one, but he was there. But like you never know if you're ever in this opportunity in this situation again. And like obviously Rodgers loves all these guys, all the receivers, they all love each other. This team seems very much in love with each other. They're all jacked up, having a good time. Like you see like all the clips and everything. So like I think they all know like this is it. And the redemption part of it. You can knock out the Niners. I mean, like most of them weren't there for 2013 or 2012 and 13. We remember. But
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Yeah. 2019, a lot of these guys know. Like, I don't know if they feel the weight of the fan base because I don't care about those 2012, 13. 2019, I get. But like how far are we going to go back if we're going to be like, but then, you know,
Greg Jennings is not walking through that door.
Yeah. But then potentially the Bucks, which I don't know. Like I at first I thought that was a guarantee, but how the Rams played, you never know. But I still probably would, if I was to put money on it, which I don't, I would probably say the Bucks. If the Packers can knock out the Niners and knock out the Bucks and then go win the Super Bowl, man, like, dude, that would be like the most legendary story. Like that would be like that little DVD, like documentary to make at the end of the year. That would be like, and then like if they went and played the Bills, all right, and not because I have any hate for the Bills, I love the Bills, but I tweeted about this. I said if the Packers and Bills were in the Super Bowl together, like that Super Bowl week, you know, it's a big party up in there, dude. Green Bay's fan base with Bills fan base, dude. Not that
poor Bell would sell out of brandy.
Dude, they wouldn't know what to do. Not that like every working man goes to Super Bowl because, you know, it's like it's like a year's salary for a lot of people, or almost. It's actually going like, yeah, it's crazy expensive. But like, dude, to me, that obviously the two top fan bases, the two I think the most partying, you know, I'll say is if the Packers and Bills are in the Super Bowl, I'm crashing through a table. Like off a garage or something. I'll find
on video. You better put it on video, man.
Oh yeah, I ain't doing it if it ain't on video. I'm all about the content, baby.
No vid, no did.
Yeah, dude. If I'm busting through a table, first of all, I don't have that bounce back. You know, those Bills fans are doing it. They're either very big people, like I'm fat, but I'm not like real big, or they're like in fit people. Because I'm not sure I bounce back from that real quick.
Right.
So it's probably gonna take me a minute. But going back to football. All right, we talked about the defense, like what has to happen. Okay, let's talk about all the guys that are coming back. Right, we got a lot of people coming back, and this is like a question. I'm trying to ask you questions that a lot of people ask me because I actually have a smart person here. You know, I thought they're typical, but every now and again I get smart people. But behind you. But what do they do? Like if like they say like Jair's practicing, Zadarius is practicing, and
yeah,
how much are these guys? Not just them two, but everyone. How much are they gonna play? And like, what do they do to try to like the guys who have been in there have been doing those things and like are in like game shape and like they're all, you know, been beneficial to this defense. How do they work all these guys in?
I think it's a lot easier to see with guys like Zadarius Smith and Whitney Merciless because they, you know, given what this rotation looks like with Preston Smith and Rashawn Gary, even healthy, I think those guys, you know, Merciless especially was always going to be like a 15, 20 snaps max kind of guy. Probably 12 to 15, maybe 18 is the perfect spot for him. Zadarius, you know, in a normal season, he's playing 40, 50 snaps, but they're gonna be able to be multiple with that. I think that part is going to be fine. The bigger question is, what do you do with Jair Alexander? How healthy is that shoulder? How much contact can he handle? But this is can he play the nickel because of the beating that it'll put on his body and run support? Give me a break. How many TFLs does Chandon Sullivan have this year? It's not what he does. It's a silly concern. And if Jair Alexander is out there, he's going to throw his body around. We know that. He's going to come up and run support and tackle.
That's what he does.
You have to just trust the player to know his body and say, okay, this is what I can do. This is what I can handle. And so for him, I'm interested to see how they adjudicate his reps, because it's like, you feel good about Eric Stokes. You feel good about Russell Douglas. They don't have really more than two receivers that you have to worry about. It's Deebo Samuel and it's Brandon Ayuk. Now George Kittle is another thing. How are they going to defend him? That's a question. They let Darnell Savage take Mark Andrews in the Ravens game. That did not go great. So I don't know how they're going to align Jair Alexander. I could see, my guess is he will be the boundary corner to start the game. And in nickel, in some key spots when Deebo is in the slot, he will play in the slot. I don't think he's going to chase Deebo. I don't think he's going to shadow him or anything like that, but he's going to play a lot. And we know, do not trust Matt LaFleur when he says guys are going to be on a pitch count. Do not trust him.
I think I thought you tweeted that.
I did. It's not about him being deceitful. He just doesn't stick to it. Yeah. Like, I don't think he intends to be deceitful. He doesn't stick to it. And the great example is last year, Aaron Jones is hurt. I think he had an MCL. He was out 2 weeks. He comes back on a Thursday night in San Francisco, and they're like, yeah, he's going to be on a pitch count, 20 snaps, 30 snaps. He played the whole game. And he was the offense. I mean, they were jet sweeps to him and receiver screens to him. And it's just like, okay, like a pitch count, Matt, come on now. Come on.
Yeah, he's I saw you tweet that, and I think it's true because like I've seen Matt LaFleur say, well, I think he's kind of like me. Like I say, I'm only gonna have a couple beers tonight, and then and the next thing you know, I'm late for work. You know what I mean?
Right.
I want to ask you a few more. I'm gonna let you get out of here, but everyone in the comments, ask your questions, and I'll pull a few in here for Peter. You can ask the smart questions that when you ask me, I'm like, I don't know. Let me check Twitter for you real quick one time. But I want to ask you about this, which doesn't really mean a lot, but I'm kind of interested in it. My wife watches like Entertainment Tonight, and she watches all these like gossipy shows. So I'm going to ask you this about Matt LaFleur and Shanahan. Like that, they seem like they were buddies, right? Like at first, I thought like they were joking about like, hey, you guys are homies and all this, and then Shanahan
snubbed him.
Didn't let his brother interview.
Yeah.
Tried to jack Aaron Rodgers. Tried to like, or at least there was rumors about that. I don't know if that's any truth, but I assume it is because why wouldn't you? You know what I mean? Trying to look into it. And
Shanahan was whispering sweet nothings into QB1's ear. Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? And then after that game earlier this year, their handshake wasn't like a
Frosty.
Bring it in here, kind of. Oh, let me get in that boy. It wasn't one of those hug it out handshakes. So, like, have you heard anything? Like, is the love lost there? What's going on over there?
They're saying all the right things publicly, right? That I have a ton of respect for him. That's my brother. They're both doing that thing. What are they going to say? No, I think that guy's an asshole.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
They're not going to do that. So I have not heard anything in terms of like reporting or anything like that I can share in terms of that relationship. But well, that's not true. But that I can share is probably the caveat that I need to add there. But I think when you have Shanahan having to come out and say, no, we're great, everything's fine, methinks he doth protest too much. They're trying a little too hard to make it seem like everything's great. He didn't let his brother come be on his staff. Yeah, that sucks. And LaFleur is probably more mad about, and now I'm just like recklessly speculating, so let's do this, that he tried to poach Aaron Rodgers, because I think Mike LaFleur is going to have success. I think he showed a lot of nice things in New York this year with Kyle Zach Wilson. My longtime listeners of my show will know why I called him that. And I just, it can't be what it used to be, right? It just can't be. I just don't think it can be. It does seem like he has a better relationship with Sean McVay. And part of that is offensive coordinator, head coach versus OC QB coach. And there's a lot of reasons for it, I think. But yeah, I don't think it matters, but I do think Matt LaFleur wants to beat Kyle Shanahan. I mean, there's no question he wants to beat Kyle Shanahan. Yeah.
I think he's definitely hungry for it. That handshake on both sides was kind of, because Shanahan was short, but so was LaFleur. He was kind of like, he was good with it being short, kind of like, all right, I want to get some of these questions because I think that whole coaching thing is very interesting to me. Like Zimmer was always short because he's always a sore loser. But
tell Westendorf he's wrong.
Did he comment or okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He thinks he has a better beard than me, which is just like objectively false.
No, I love Jacob, but your beard. If I could grow a beard, imagine how awesome I'd look. I can't grow one though. I have.
I didn't know I could until I tried. Until I really tried. And it goes through the stage where it's just gross, like it's scraggly and bad. And I had to do it. What no one tells you is, if you want to grow a good beard, most people, some people are naturally hairy and bushy.
Yeah,
I'm not. Well, in between. But I had to do it a couple times. You shave it, you groom it, and then it starts to grow in the way that you want it. So if you're listening and you want to grow a beard, grow it out, shave it off, and do it again. And after a couple times, it really starts to come in nice, and it comes in quicker too. So,
yeah, I was off 3 weeks because COVID situations where I didn't get COVID at that time, but people in my house did. So like I had to be out for 3 weeks. So I was like, I'm not gonna shave it to see what happens. Nothing happened, bro. I mean, some happened. I looked homeless, but it wasn't like I was like, I gotta shave. I gotta do a podcast after I started getting healthy. You know, and feeling. Or no, that time I wasn't even sick, so I was actually still doing stuff. So I was like, no, I gotta take care of this. When I was actually sick, I didn't do anything. But there was one question here I actually wanted to ask. I can't find it, but the offensive line.
Yeah.
Where the hell? I would like to put the question up there. But shout out to whoever posted that, but the comments flew in. But the offensive line, like, how do you see that stacking up? Like, interesting, like David Bakhtiari, like, he didn't practice, but like they were hopeful, like they're all over the place. Like, is he gonna play? Like, how much is he gonna play? Like, where do you see this offensive line like stacking up? And if he does or if he doesn't play, like, what are they gonna do? And like, do you think he's gonna play? Like
he's gonna play.
I think he's gonna, but like, is he gonna like?
You can't rotate tackles.
Like, yeah. That's what
he can either
they're not
gonna
like
either play or he can't.
Yeah, exactly.
So either they think he can go 60 plays or he can't play. Yeah, I mean I think like, that's the reality. And so then the question becomes, how do you stack up the rest of this offensive line? And I've seen some people say, I think Dennis Kelly is better than Billy Turner. Those people are wrong. But they're entitled to their opinion. And so they want Billy Turner to play at guard. And it's just like, did you see Billy Turner play guard in 2019? He's been a much better tackle over the last 2 years than he was a guard in 2019. So why don't you get your guys at their best positions? Billy Turner's best position is tackle. He's the best right tackle on the team. You're going to get Josh Myers back. He's going to play center. Lucas Patrick is going to be your right guard. You got John Runyon Jr. as your left guard and David Bakhtiari as your left tackle. That's as intact as this line is going to be all season because of what's going on with Elton Jenkins. And you probably have your day one center at tackle, both tackle spots and center. And Lucas Patrick maybe always should have been starting over Royce Newman. And that's a question for a different day. I don't think it cost them any games, so it's not that big a deal. But at this point in the season, you got to have your best guys out there. And JRJ has turned into a real player. He really has. And I really like Pro Football Focus. I think they do a lot of really good stuff. They're wrong about JRJ and the way that he's played this year. The grades do not reflect the quality of the player. And I think the Packers should be really excited that he can be a real player for them moving forward. I think there's a chance that he could be their left guard of the future. Elton Jenkins becomes their right tackle of the future. I think that's all in play. Maybe he's their center of the future. But I think Josh Myers has probably got that spot locked down, at least in the short term. So if the Packers can protect, I don't know what the path is for the 49ers to win. I really don't.
Because the 49ers were flying around. Like they were doing like, I'm not like a X and O's type of fella. You know what I mean? Anybody who watches me or listens to me knows I don't know a lot. I mean, we talk trash. We have a good time. But like, I'm not an X's and O's like expert. But the Niners were coming at him. Like the Niners were doing a lot of gadgety stuff. People are, what do they call like the little swirling trying to be stunts. There you go. I'm trying to be a professional here, Peter. I couldn't think of the word. If I thought of the word right away, boom, I would have nailed it. But I didn't. But yeah, they were doing a lot of stunts. So a little trickeration, like people not knowing who they're gonna block, obviously. And they were getting some heat on Dak. Aaron Rodgers, obviously. He can move around his toe. I think his toe is good, but like with a clean pocket, like not guys in any quarterback, you get guys in their face. Like I was saying that about Jimmy G. You get pressure on him, he turns into like what is happening, kind of just chucks it. But any quarterback isn't as good with pressure in their face. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers is a little bit better than Jimmy, or I would say a little bit better than Jimmy G with pressure in his face. But still, you don't want to have pressure in his face. You want the offensive line. You want to build a wall. If I'm going to do like some John Madden, I would draw some stuff up here. And I would you got to get a wall. But forgot where I was going with this. But we need an offensive line to protect Aaron Rodgers. And if they do, it doesn't matter. People talk about the defense. People talk about special teams. If the offensive line can hold it, and Aaron Rodgers has a good amount of time, he doesn't have to have extra special. Doesn't have to be the best offensive line of all time. If he has some time, guys are going to get open. It won't matter what anything else happens because Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, all those guys.
And it's not even that he needs time, because if you go back to that 49ers game, they got the ball out quick. It was a lot of 3-step drops. They played a lot out of empty shotgun. But if they don't have to do that, they become so much less predictable. When you get under you get out and empty, they know it's a pass. Like you're not running QB draw with Aaron Rodgers.
No.
But if all of a sudden you can get under center and now you can go hard play action, or you can just take a 5-step, 7-step drop, it puts that little bit of extra doubt in the mind of those pass rushers, those linebackers, those safeties as to what is coming. That's a big deal. And so I think it is really the whole game. If they want to go quick game the whole game, they can. I don't think they're going to have to do that, but it is the ace up their sleeve, right? Because they can say, all right, we're going to try and do the things that we want to do irrespective of what you want to do because we think we can block it up. And if all of a sudden they can't, okay, now we go spread. It's 5 wide. We don't think that you can guard us and the ball's coming out hot. We think you're not going to be right often enough to stop them. And we don't think you can guard Devontae Adams versus green grass or Alan Lazard in the slot fade. It was like 3rd and 14 on the first drive in the first game, the week 3 game. And they hit the shot play to Alan Lazard out of the slot. And it's just like, okay, it's going to be that kind of game. Rodgers is just on one. And he's been in a groove, right? Accuracy has been incredible. He's starting to hit those deep shots. It's hard not to be excited. It's hard not to be romantic. How can you not be romantic about football, Matt?
Dude, you cannot. And I just want to say to every 49er fan, which I'm not going to hate on you. All right. I'm going to be down at Lambeau Field on Saturday. Probably going to meet some. I'm sure you're fine people. We're just rooting for the wrong team.
Some are.
All right. Yeah. But I'll just tell you right now, 14 seconds left. Aaron Rodgers does not run that ball up the middle with no timeouts left. That's not going to happen.
Don't tell them, Matt.
The Green Bay Packers will not have 14 penalties. And I know you're going to say, well, that's because the refs love the Packers. Even though history proves that whenever someone says that to me, I stop talking to them. It's like, it doesn't make sense, because if that was true, like if the refs were dictating not just for the Packers, but like who you would expect, the Cowboys would be in the Super Bowl more. They'd be in the playoffs.
Right.
The Cowboys being good is good for the NFL, because not because they're America's team, first of all, because they're not.
They're not.
But they're always the big story. It would be good for them to at least win a playoff game every now and again. It's good for the Packers.
And they mostly don't.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. The Cowboys, if the refs and it was rigged and all these things and they're trying to help, they would help the Cowboys. They'd be like, hey, let them win a few playoff games. Let, the NFC East just in general. They'd be like, we can't have one division just being this sucky. Anyways, I'm going to wrap this up so that you can get back to your life. But I want to ask you one more question, because a lot of...
This is my life, Matt.
I know it is. But a lot of people ask me about, how do I start a podcast? Like, what do I do? And I try to help a lot of people as much as I can, even have people on my show who are just starting out, or people who maybe aren't known as much. But if you could give advice to people, like how to start, because everyone knows the name of your podcast. Now it's slipping my mind. But like, what would your advice be, being that you have
Locked On Packers?
Locked On. I should have just hit this little caption I got over here. But Locked On Packers.
You literally
podcast.
did the intro to my podcast on the show from memory.
I know, but I didn't. That was a beer or so ago. No, but I was reading comments, and in my defense, I was like reading like what people are saying over here. But if you had some advice, like a little quick advice for someone who's just starting, or maybe someone who's been doing it for a little bit, but a little bit of expertise from a guy who's been doing it for a minute, what do you got?
Just do it and be consistent. If you say we're going to put out a show every Thursday, put out a show every Thursday. Make sure your audience knows every Thursday you're going to get a show. And I didn't quite know what the show was going to be when I started. When David Locke called me and said, do you want to do this show? Shout out Joel in the comments, who listens to Locked On Packers every day. I didn't know what it was going to be. I knew that I thought I could do it. I knew that it would be fun, but 5 days a week is a lot. That's a lot of content. I don't recommend to other people to do that. And I don't know that anyone else does. But it's more about trying to find the thing that you do that can amplify your voice. You, Matt, have a very clearly defined voice. You know who you are. You are you. You are authentic to you. And that's why people like you. And so I knew who I was and I knew what I wanted my voice to be. It helped me. This is just my process. It helped me to try and come up with a tagline for the show, to try and give people an understanding of what this show was going to, because I'm new. Bill Huber did it before me. Bill Huber is a very established Packers beat writer. People knew Bill more than they knew me, certainly when I started doing the show. I think that has probably changed a little bit now because we've done a lot. But I started out going, I want this to be the show for fans who know what happened. They want to know why and how. I wanted that to be a baseline. Like, if you listen to a show every day, you give a shit about the Packers, which means I don't need to tell you about the breaking news tweet that Rob Domofsky had. You read it already. I don't need to tell you about the move that Fields Yates reported. You know it already. What I need to tell you is, why does it matter? How does it affect the team? That's me. Not everyone does their show that way. You don't do the show that way. You come from a different perspective. Aaron Nagler comes from a different perspective. Andy Herman comes from a different perspective. Everyone has a different thing to bring to the table. And I think that the table is huge for Packers fans because Packer Nation is enormous. And I know a lot of people that listen to Locked On Packers, that listen to your show, and that listen to Pack-A-Day, or that they watch Transplants every week and they listen to Schneidman and Huber's podcast and Underage Packers, or like they listen to 3 or 4 or 5 Packers podcasts. So I'm never shy about saying, hey, go listen to this, go listen to Pack-A-Day. All my buddies are, I know everyone over at Pack-A-Day. They've all been on my show. And I think it's really great. Great point, Joe. Perry Goldstein, Maggie Loney, both have been on Locked On Packers. Pack What She Said is a great show. They come at it from a different perspective. And so depending on what you do well, you have to decide, okay, this is what I want to bring to my audience, and then deliver it. Find a way to deliver it every single time. Consistency is everything. That is the key. Consistency. Every time you do a show, it's going to be on the same day, the same time it's going to drop, and it's going to deliver the same thing to your audience, even if the content's a little bit different. That you might have a guest that's a little bit different. You might take a little bit different approach, but they're always getting you. And when you do that, people are going to find it and people are going to like it. And I think content wins. If you have good content, people will find it. And I think you're proof of that. I think Locked On Packers is proof of that. And I encourage anyone who wants to do it, even though I know there are a million podcasts out there. So
I totally agree. I think I did it twice. Like I had a podcast the first time and it was like horrible. Like it was like my first time I was like using a phone and I had like crappy equipment. But I always tell people, it doesn't matter the equipment you have. Like when you start, just start. But like that first time I had a quick run, I quit. Like I was like, all right, I need to check out like what
it's
I'm doing.
More work than you realize. I think a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah. And then I went back at it again and Clinton Dix. And I got like a lot of players to come on. Tom Crabtree. And even though I was like pretty much horrible at the beginning, not that I'm fantastic now, but you know what I mean? I definitely got better. And, but it's all about just doing it and trying new stuff. Like I try new stuff. Like I have random people on, cause I think you find a lot of cool people just having random people on. People message me and comment every day. Like, hey, can I come on the podcast? I don't let everyone on, but like people who like see commenting a lot and I kind of like get a gist of like what they are. I'm like, all right, I'll give it a try because who cares? It's a live show. You know what I mean? Like it's not like the worst thing in the world. People are like, oh, that was awful. But if they listen to me, they listen to anyone. But that's like, if you're going to do a podcast, just do it. And like, listen to people, like see what other people are doing. Don't copy them, but like, you kind of see like the different, you know what I mean? Like for me, like, I'm just a fan. I'm not like an expert. I'm not trying to be, I give like the fans point of view. I bring all the comments in because I know I'm not all knowing. I think it's fun. Like I go alone a lot and, I bring the comments in because I think it's cool to like interact with people. Everyone does like their own little thing. So if you think about doing a podcast, do it. And, email Peter, he'll come on your show.
Seriously, my DMs are open. If you have any questions, absolutely hit me up, and I'm willing to help as best I can. Obviously, I'm I'm doing a lot. So if I don't respond right away,
Yeah.
please don't be offended. Every once in a while I'll get someone that asks me a question and then I don't respond within a day or two. And I get the, you're an asshole kind of stuff. And I'm just
You're
like,
Hollywood.
you asked,
I got that.
I'm busy, guy. Like, come on, like, give me a second to respond.
You have a 20 month
And it happened to me where someone asked me to come on the show. And I said, okay. And there was never really any hard and fast follow-up. And then they had a different guest on at another point, and they like flamed me about it. Like I big timed them. And I was like, wait, no, we never set a time. Like, don't do that. Don't act like this is my fault. Like, if you're going to do this, let's do this and be respectful to each other. And that's the other thing I would say. There are some people out there who think that the best way to have a successful show or to have a successful media career is to pick fights with people. Don't do that.
Yeah. Oh no,
just don't do that. It's not
people.
Like there's reasonable disagreement, and I reasonably disagree with people all the time, and I think that's fine. But to make it so contentious, I don't think the audience I just don't think the audience responds well to that. And look, the proof is in the numbers, right? I mean, that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, because like there's literally people on the internet who do stuff who I really don't care for. I have no hate for anyone, but like people but nobody knows because it's who cares? Like there's a lot of people who don't care for me. I guarantee it. Who do the same stuff, whatever, like podcasts and all the things. But whatever. If you want to do a podcast, do the damn thing. You know what I mean?
Do it.
Packers are winning. Do you have a score prediction, or do you save that like for your last minute show over there?
I have not made a score prediction yet, so I will not drop it here.
Yeah,
just because I know I'll be held to it. And so especially your show, all the video people, the 49ers people will go effing crazy. So I need to
put on my Instagram.
I need to be very judicious about that. It's early too. It's only Wednesday, right?
Yeah,
as we're recording. What day is it? Jesus. So I will probably not give a score prediction until Friday. I reserve the right to change my mind. So,
because a lot can happen. I'll do like different podcasts, like during the season. I'll give like 3 different score predictions. No one catches on ever.
I change my mind. I usually give a score prediction on Thursday. I'm trying to think. I don't think I did for our Thursday show, which we recorded already with the 49ers guys. I might have. I think I said that I think the Packers will win, but I think the 49ers will cover the 6. But that is as far as I've gone. I do think the Packers could win. My gut reaction, I was texting with a friend who's a Bears fan, and some Bears fans like me. I don't know if people know that, but that's actually true. I said 31-21 was sort of what my gut was. And I like that number, but I have not decided on a number. So don't hold me to that. That's not my final answer. That was what my gut was. Answer. Especially if Jair and Za'Darius are really back and Randall Cobb is really back. Packers are getting to 30. Packers are getting to 30. What is the Nagler thing? He always makes up like different rhyming things. Packers by 30, whatever the thing is. Like,
It doesn't matter. He always has like some rhyming thing.
Right.
It doesn't matter if it's whatever Packer by 30. I actually stole that a little bit. I don't do the rhyming thing.
It's a good bit.
I don't do the rhyming thing, but I always say like Packers by 30.
I don't want to give Nagler too much credit or he'll get a big head about it, but you know.
Oh yeah. Nagler's mad. Peter Bukowski. Do your friends call you Peter?
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about this like when I was getting ready. I have a buddy named Pete. We call him like Pistol Pete. We call him Petey. We call him everything but Peter. You're a more distinguished fellow than he is.
Some people call me Pete. What I don't like, so like my sister calls me Pete. My family calls me Pete, but my wife has never called me that. A lot of my friends call me Pete. What I don't like is I'll go on a radio show and they'll call me Pete. It's like, I don't know you. We're not cool like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Because that was like Eminem back in his day. If like a radio guy called him Marshall, he's like, no, I'm Eminem to you.
Right.
We're not friends like that. I don't know you like that. Yeah, no.
Big B nailed it. Golden Retrievers, family of Beavers, Packers by 30. Exact. That is the Beavers one was stuck in my mind too. So we were on the same wavelength.
Yeah, he always got something good. Peter Bukowski, you can check him on the Locked On Packers podcast. Everyone watching, listening probably knows it. But if you're listening to the podcast, if you're watching the replay if you're watching live on Facebook or YouTube. Check out the Locked On Packers podcast. He's also on YouTube. You're not real active on Facebook.
No.
You need to get on that, dude.
I know.
Maybe not. You have a lot going on. But hey, right now I'm doing quite well on Facebook.
Wait, Matt. This is not Packers related, but it is breaking news.
Oh, what do you got? What's happening over there?
According to Bruce Feldman, Jim Harbaugh will likely take the Raiders job if offered.
Really? Jim
Harbaugh. So, and that's the thing. Not the Bears was the big one. That's the only reason I bring it up is because all the Bears fans wanted.
Yeah. That is actually big because I don't want the Bears to get any type of good coach, like what they've been doing.
No. It would be great if they hired like.
Well, I don't know like Jim Harbaugh. Like he doesn't really.
I don't think he's that great a coach. But
yeah, that doesn't really worry me too much. But he's a name that always gets. It's always out and about. But yeah, I don't. First of all, if he got hired by the Bears, I would know for sure he's a bad coach because they're not hiring. Like,
yeah, they're not going to get the cream of the crop on this one.
If McCarthy they're saying is going to be out in Dallas, that didn't happen yet, right?
No. They and the lesser Jones, the younger Jones said he's staying, so he's going to be a coach.
I think it'd be dumb for them to fire him.
I think the players like him, and I think they like Kellen Moore. So.
Yeah, I'm not saying that he's like the end all be all, but. I don't think he had enough time. I don't know, but it doesn't matter who coaching Dallas. They're not doing nothing, bro. They're the Cowboys. That's what they're there for. Anyway,
sorry, I derailed the outro. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, you're good. I have this little music thing we're gonna play out. Look at this.
Let's do it.
Peter Bukowski, Locked On Packers podcast. Thank you for joining. Thanks to everyone for listening, watching, wherever you're watching and listening. Big shout out to Quick Trip. Sponsoring the show. Go get yourself some golden glazers. I don't know if they're golden, but go get yourself some glazers, some macaroni and cheese, and
chicken tendies.
Yeah, chicken tendies, and tell them Matt Ramage sent me. They won't know who I am. They'll look at you weird. And you might get kicked out, but do it anyways, people. Thanks for tuning in.